Hi, my name's Kaity and welcome to my channel. As some of you would know, I keep some African cichlids and I've got 2 6-foot tanks at the moment inside the townhouse that I rent. I have always wanted to live on acreage and have space to have a pond at some point in my life, but it hasn't been possible just yet. However, it doesn't mean that I haven't been able to admire a lot of the ponds that I see online. One creator in particular who I followed for a really long time is Greg Whitstock, the pond guy. He came to Australia to go to his aquascape branch that he has on the Sunshine Coast, so I decided that I wanted to drive the couple of hours north from where I am in Brisbane and hopefully be able to meet Greg. It was totally unplanned, but I asked Greg if we could do a video together, which we did, and it turned out really well, and we actually ended up becoming friends because of that. He already had this event planned to try and get a bunch of different content creators, some I think most who he's collaborated with and worked with, all together to create a nice little community and be able to share our experience on social media. Because of that, I ended up planning this whole trip to the US where I've ended up being able to collaborate with a bunch of other fish YouTubers like Ohio Fish Rescue, the King of DIY. I went and saw the Big Salt Water Tank, Andrew Sandler's Polo Reef as well, and much more. We went on a little bit of a bus tour around the area for Greg to show us some of the top 5 ponds, including his mum's awesome pond that he has built there in Chicago. And not just him, but also his awesome team as well that works along with him.
We have Team Aquascape, which is the construction channel, so it teaches people the construction. And then we have Ed, the pond professor, who's my longest teammate. He is the science behind it.
In this video today, I'm going to show you the 5 ponds. Because there was lots of people, this is really just a quick kind of vlog style video, and I was very fortunate to have my friend Jaron help me film this. So Jaron's got his own channel, Dr. Plants, which is just an incredible channel. You definitely need to go and check it out if you haven't seen it already. I really hope that you enjoy this video, and if you're enjoying my content, remember to subscribe to my channel too, and you can hit that little bell icon to get notified each time I upload a new video. Without further ado, let's jump into this video and check out some of these ponds. Today we are checking out some incredible ponds. This is the first one that we're seeing today, and this one is kind of like a fairy tale garden pond. It is just beautiful. It's got waterfalls all throughout it, and it's got huge big pine trees, these beautiful blue pines that you'll see over there, and some really big beautiful koi fish. This is Winnie here. She's a little therapy assistance dog and she is very well behaved. Apparently she doesn't even jump in the pond, she's that well behaved.
Winnie, give me high five. Oh, high five.
You never know what you're going to see.
Winnie.
Winnie is very lucky getting to live here.
Can you give me comfort?
If you look behind Winnie as well, you'll see there's a bunch of koi, some beautiful big koi in the pond here. And so this is a really nice place just to hang out as well. So they have some groups with children with disabilities and stuff who come down here, and it's just a really nice, peaceful, relaxing, calming environment for them, along with Winnie the therapy dog as well. And you can see a little bridge as well behind those lilies. And look, there's even little stone houses and stuff, beautiful plants and landscaping and flowers everywhere. It's just gorgeous. And a teepee? Oh yeah, there's a teepee up the back. Should we go check out the teepee?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go through for a walk.
Blake, you like seeing ponds up in the north?
And, it's a little bit rainy today, but it doesn't matter. I think it kind of adds to the mystique around it all. There's just so much attention to detail everywhere. Look at these little pine cones here as well. And a little stone bridge here and a beautiful waterfall that you can walk across. I think it's nice to be able to see what you could aspire to as well if you really loved ponds and you wanted to save up for something like this. I think Greg was saying there's some people and they'll have like $100,000 home, but their pond is worth like $200,000 or $300,000 just because they love it so much. I haven't been inside this. Shall we have a look and see what's in there? Oh, there's a little fire pit in there. It's actually like a real teepee. That's cool. Hello. There's some people in the teepee. And then we can even wrap around and we can go back this way.
Oh yeah. It's been an hour.
And so you can see as well with this that they don't waste any space. Like every square inch that they have, they put something there so that you can just be walking everywhere and exploring everywhere. Well, oh, someone just came out from behind the pine tree. There's Bobby. And there's so many people here, but you don't even notice because people can just be walking around and spreading out everywhere. Well, I reckon we'll wrap it up there. That's our first pond that we're going to be checking out today, and we'll meet you at the next one. Now we're at pond number 2, and so this one is quite a bit different to the last one that we just visited. It's still got some beautiful waterfalls and everything. However, you'll notice that a lot of the foliage and the landscaping is a lot more kind of, low-lying around here. And so it's a little bit easier to walk through and to navigate, I guess. And it's also set out more in like an elongated way opposed to a circular pond that you walk in circles around. And again, there's some beautiful koi fish in here as well. And these ones are a little bit smaller compared to the ones that we saw at the last spot. So they might be a little bit younger. And a lot of these ponds, you'll see that you can jump in the water as well, go for a little bit of a swim, you get some photos. And we've got another beautiful waterfall over there, which is really nice because you can sit in the house and look out the window and see all of this, and it's like having your own little rainforest or little creek area outside. And what I really like about this one too is you've got the nice barbecue area there too, so you can hang out amongst the pond. It's a really nice kind of lifestyle type of pond, I would say, this one. I also really like the colour as well of the granite that they chose. However, the only problem apparently when you get dark granite like that is sometimes it can heat up quite a bit in the sun. So in the summertime that can get a little bit too hot to touch when it's been sitting out in the sun. But overall, another really beautiful pond, and you can see that they really design these based on what the person's preferences are and what they're wanting. All right, well, let's finish up there and head to pond number 3. So this next pond is quite unique because this one is specifically for swimming in. It's a recreational pond, so it's really, really deep. And Greg was saying that this was quite difficult to build too because the area that they had to go through was like a tiny gate to get through all of the excavators and everything and get all of the dirt out, which I think they said was like 9 full loads from the excavator to get out. And this one is a little bit more small, the yard. So they were saying with the pond that we just viewed as well that they had to make sure that was up high because the yard was so big and it would look really odd to have a low pond in a really big yard. Whereas this one, the yard is kind of like the length of the pond. So you can have it lower down and more flat. And so it's quite shallow up until here. And then once you get over to this end here where everyone's hanging out, it gets really, really deep. So it's deep enough to be able to jump off the rocks and get into the pond without injuring yourself in any way. And you'll see that there's a bunch of koi in there too. This one isn't as old, it's about 3 or 4 years old. And so the koi are quite young in this one too. And what's interesting about this pond as well is it doesn't have a skimmer box. Instead, what it actually does is if you follow it along past the deep end, you'll see that there's this little waterfall area there. And apparently it looks like it would be less maintenance, but it's a little bit more maintenance than having a skimmer box, having that, because then you've got to pull all of the debris out from between the rocks and everything.
I'm going to jump in.
So that is our pond number 3. We'll see you at the next one. Okay, so we've seen some very expensive ponds. The last one we just visited was $400,000 US. Now this one is a little bit more obtainable. So this is a little bit of a smaller one. I think Greg said it's pondless, which would normally mean it doesn't have fish, but there are some fish in this one too. But as you can see, this one is more around like the $30,000 to $40,000 to $50,000 US mark. And so it's quite a bit smaller and it's not anywhere near as deep as the last one that we saw, but it's still beautiful. So you can have a really gorgeous, nice little waterfall with some landscaping. I really love this plant here, which I think they said was either thyme or forget-me-not or something that creeps along the ground there. And you can see as well, I think they put granite stones in here as well, which are a little bit cheaper than some of the other stones that they've used in the other ponds that we visited. So you can see how there's definitely a large variety in price based on what you want and what it is that you're after. This obviously isn't anywhere near as big as the other ones, but it's still really beautiful and it still gives you a nice little slice of nature that you can have in your backyard. The next pond that we're going to be visiting will be Greg's mum's pond, and I've heard some really great things about it, so I'm very excited to check it out. Let's go have a look. All right, so we're at our last pond of the day, and this is a very special pond. This is actually Greg Whitstock's mum's pond. And so what's really unique about this one is that you can see it from every angle inside the house. So you've got the house here with all the big windows and the big master bedroom that's just here on the end. And so you can look out and just enjoy this beautiful pond here with the waterfall. There's a bunch of koi in here as well. And the deck actually goes over the pond, so it's really integrated with it, which I think is really, really nice. And so this is kind of like a medium-sized pond. So for the pond and the deck and everything, Greg said around about about 150,000 US dollars it would be. So not as expensive as some of the ones that we saw today, like the recreational swimming one, but still getting up there because of the nice deck and everything like that. And this one as well, Greg said that there's been a bunch of extensions that they've done to it. So they kind of started with this part here where it's a bit deeper with the koi and the waterfall, but then his mum didn't like that she couldn't see it from over here outside the kitchen. So then they extended it over there, added in the fire pit and added in some more water features, which you can come and have a look at as well down here. And so here as well, it's not like in Australia, it gets quite cold in the winter, it actually snows. So it's good having a fire pit around the pond as well, just to make sure that you don't get too cold when you're standing out here enjoying your pond. And Greg's mum really enjoys doing gardening too, so you can see all the beautiful flowers and everything that she's been able to put around the pond, which is what a lot of people do as well with these. So like Aquascape will come in and do the initial kind of pond and rock placement and everything like that, and then people can kind of enjoy their gardening and make it what they want it to be around it. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed looking at all these different ponds and getting a bit of an idea for what you can get for your backyard. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. Let me know what you think in the comments and which pond was your favourite out of all of them, which one you would choose. And if you're enjoying this content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel too. I'm going to be uploading plenty more content from the US here, so you can hit that little bell icon to get notified each time I upload a new video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.